Hi guys, how are you doing today? It's so good to see you again. And today we'll be talking about closure. Why I no longer chase closure. I'm going to be sharing it in this video. So let's get right into the video. There was a time when I needed answers, where I feel like people that left me didn't give me reasons why they left. I needed the closure, maybe to feel good about myself or to actually know what I was doing wrong. I needed closure from them. I needed to know why they left when they did. I needed explanation as to why they hurt me, as to why they spoke to me the way they did, as to why they feel like I'm not a good person. I needed to know why they left without conversation. I usually used to say that the worst kind of goodbyes are the ones without conversation, no communication. You are left wondering, what did I do to this person? Why did they cut me off? What is going on? And when these things happened, I legit wanted closure. It happened with my ex at a point where my ex left without conversations. He blocked me everywhere. I cried for months, for years, because I didn't know what went wrong. We weren't fighting. As a matter of fact, a day before he blocked me, we still had a conversation. We were still on the phone. So what did I do? For years, I wanted closure. For years, I wanted to know the answers. But then I realized that only cowards will leave without conversations. So why should I be bothering myself as the reason why somebody broke up with me? Can I call that a breakup? Somebody walked away from me, and then I'm the one chasing closure. No. But it took me years to realize that because I was too. I mean, this was a four years relationship, and then having somebody walk away without conversation and communication. But sooner or later, I found out why they left me for another person, because they traveled abroad and they felt like the distance was too much for them. I don't know. Now, this is me assuming, but that is what I thought because we didn't have any issues. But they left. Closure is one thing I took personal then, but now I no longer chase closure because you decide to leave without telling me why. Why should I be bothering myself about that? But over time, I've learned that some people would never communicate with you, no matter how hard you try. Now, not because they can't, but because they would not. They just decide not to. So why are you chasing closure with that kind of person? People that are not open to conversation or communication, they shut you out the moment they feel like you're done or your chapter is done. So why should you be bothering yourself with closure? And I remember those times when I was waiting for closure from the wrong set of people. I waited, and that closure never came, that communication never happened, and I was left stuck with my thoughts. But one thing I held on to is I am a good person. So if you decide to leave, it's not on me, that is on you. And that's because you could not face me or you could not share the fact that I am a good person. And I will not lie to you, seeking closure is very hard because you're not just waiting for answers, you're waiting for apologies that will never come. You're waiting for people to see your pain, even though they do not understand it. And at that point, I realized that I was holding space for people that do not even care about me or people that even moved on from me. And that's when I realized something quietly but powerfully. Closure is not something you choose, it is something that chose you, it's something that chooses to come to you. So if people are not willing to communicate with you or converse with you as the reason why they cut you off, the reason why they are breaking up with you, or the reason why they are leaving the friendship, then you do not have to chase that. I stopped chasing conversation that will emotionally drain me. I am trying to maintain peace and my sanity. And if I feel like leaving is an option that you chose by yourself, then live with it. I'm okay with that. And then I stopped reopening wounds just to feel complete. I stopped asking people to meet me at a point so that we can discuss whatever it is that happened. We are adults, we are grown ups. If anybody did anything to hurt you or upset you, it is right for you to have communication with that person, even though you are not going to still be in that space with that person, but it is crucial for them to know what they did. I remember one time that I wanted to break a friendship off with one of my friends. I typed a long epistle. It was long. And I stated the reason why I didn't want to be friends with that person again. Not because I wanted to do it to spite that person, but because It has been going on for too long, and I respectfully told them that I will not be friends with them again, and these are the reasons why I do not want to be friends with them again. Trust me, after so many years, we reconciled and we're cordial. But I'm happy I did that at that point because it made me realize that communication is the key in every area or every aspect we meet ourselves. I mean, I know at that point where we were not talking, she would know the reason why I'm not talking to her, and not just me just disappearing. And one thing I've learned in life is that the communication you're looking for might not come most times because people are dual people. People decide to move on without communicating. That is life. And you cannot beat the fact that people will always want to be people. And accepting the fact that people will misunderstand you, people would feel like they do not owe you an explanation, is you knowing that things will not always go your way. And sometimes the silence is always loud, is eating you up because you just want to know the reason why this person that we had a good relationship, we had a good friendship, we are good, just decide to cut me off like that, and that's fine. Letting go without explanation drained me at some point. It feels like a burden. I felt hard on myself. But as time goes on, I realized that I started feeling lighter. It's not my burden to feel when somebody decides to just up and leave. And then I realized that choosing peace is paramount to your growth. And if you constantly start thinking about why is this person not talking to me, why did this person stop talking to me, you are going to drain yourself emotionally, physically, and even spiritually, because at some point you might not even have anything to do than to start thinking about that one scenario of why is this person not talking to me, and that will mess up your whole itinerary for maybe the month, the year, or even for years. You just start coping with it, and that is not something you should do. And choosing peace is more important than choosing to find closure from somebody that already decided not to listen to you or not to speak to you ever again. And sometimes clarity doesn't always come from communication or conversations. It comes from distance. You begin to understand, oh, this is why this thing didn't work out at some point, and you'll be grateful that you don't have closure with such persons. And as I grew further in life, when somebody decides to leave my life without explanations, I don't run to them for closure. I don't even start a conversation. I just take that time to pause, to reflect, to think about how our relationship has been, to think about the kind of person I am to that person, the kind of person they are to me. And then in reflection, I get my answers. And at that point, when I observe, when I reflect, when I self reflect, I'm not angry. I'm not even thinking about anything negative. At that point, I just feel like I think it is best we both split head like that. And I've come to terms with dealing with my own pain rather than waiting for somebody to tell me the reason why they hurt me the way they did. That way, believing how much of a good person that I am to myself. So no, I do not chase closure anymore. I choose peace. I choose growth. I choose to be a better version of myself because we cannot always be right. As I've said in my previous videos, I have made mistakes. We are humans after all, but I take the step to be a better person to myself, to my future friends, to my families, to my relationship that might happen or might not happen. All in all, I've decided to be a better person. And while being a better person, I still do not want to chase closure. And oftentimes when things like this happen, when people leave without closure, I just take it as that's the final chapter of that person in my own book. But I am not chasing closure. And if this is you, if you're expecting closure from people, if you're expecting communication from people that cut you off, I want you to know that you are human after all, but then you're not cold, you are healing. So letting people be, letting them go is paramount to your own healing. And that's what I have to tell you today. Until I see you next time. Bye.